Hi everyone, it's Erin from the Provincial Farmhouse. In today's video, I'm taking you shopping with me to IKEA. We're headed to IKEA in Rhodes, Sydney, which is about 2 hours from where I live. I like to get there about once a year if I can, and today I'm looking for organisation and storage ideas and some French country decor that maybe I can do some projects with. Throughout the video, I did definitely try to make sure that I got shots of the tags of the items so that you can maybe grab them if you see anything that you really liked. Throughout the video, you'll notice that I definitely gravitated towards storage ideas. So these lovely glass jars, wooden crates, baskets, anything that would make organising shelves and all sorts of spaces easier. And also pots, definitely keeping my eye out for pots for spring and Easter decorating. This particular space was lovely and it had a great little trolley that I thought would be really helpful for crafting storage. And when I saw this lovely boxwood style wreath, I knew I had to grab one and bring it home with me. This could be dressed up for so many different styles and seasons. And I also am just loving all of the greenery. IKEA had a lot of wooden items like these bowls for the kitchen, and I really loved this giant chopping board. I thought that it would be great leaning up against a backsplash. I also noticed that there was a lot of pegboard storage, so that's definitely something that we're going to see for organisation. I think that would be great in a craft room. And obviously I had to look at the classic white IKEA jug. You'll see a bit later they had a lot of colours to choose from, but I already have so many of these, so I did refrain. And here you can see how they use that lovely chopping board. I'm also looking for pantry organisation ideas, and I loved how they used this stick-on blackboard. I think that would be great for keeping track of what you need to get when you're shopping next for groceries. In this room, this little organisational caddy caught my eye. You can see they've got that pegboard style organisation happening there, and I love that you could take your tools from one room to the next but keep them all contained. Definitely something to keep in mind. In this space, this little side table caught my attention. I loved the idea of the little basket section down the bottom for cushions or throws for your living room, and I actually really quite liked this mirror. And they had a few little faux fireplaces that they had scattered about the different spaces. This little chopping board riser really caught my eye. It'd be great over the arm of a sofa to put your coffee on. And in this space, I all of a sudden really wanted to put in a fake staircase in my house. I actually really loved that. It would be so fun to decorate for Christmas. In this next room, something that really caught my attention was this lovely little coffee table. I thought it had a real French country vibe happening. So if you don't want to search for that perfect piece to redo, IKEA has an option. And I loved the row of hooks with the baskets hanging. I thought that felt really cozy, and this plant stand definitely caught my eye, perfect in a corner. This little milk jug definitely caught my attention, but I have thrifted so many of these, so it's probably a good thing that when I got to the market hall that they were sold out. I noticed a lot of wicker and cane organisational pieces for folders, just baskets everywhere. It was really fun to see all the different styles, and these are such an easy way to organise your space. And I spotted these cushions. They are new and I was loving the textures. I've noticed that pom-poms and tassels are definitely very popular with the new things this season, and I'm loving the fluffy ridged detail on these pillows, and they do also have a couple of throws to match as well. I really loved the look of this little tray. I know it's something that's been around for a long time, but it would definitely be a fun project maybe to give to your mum on Mother's Day, something that she can have in bed with her when she has her breakfast in bed. And they did have this new FICA faux plant that I really loved. I loved how it was hanging down and the colors were beautiful, but I already have so many fake plants, so I did refrain from grabbing those. Another piece that caught my eye was this wall rack. I feel like this would be a really great organizational piece to hang your hooks off and really just organize your desk space. And this pot really caught my eye. I loved the faux texture that they had achieved. For all you gardeners out there, IKEA definitely had a lot of storage ideas for indoor plants and equipment. I actually really liked this frame here. I thought it would look lovely with dried flowers in it. This little Bluetooth speaker was fun. It was designed to look like a book so that it could sit in the bookshelf and not be a bit of an eyesore. I thought that was a clever idea. And then I really did love these sort of beige boxes, having everything look really neutral and organized. And of course, I love a good cloche. This next space is definitely one of my favorites. I love the more neutral, soft colors that's going on, and I definitely love how they have styled the glass shelves. This floral cushion definitely caught my attention. I'm noticing a lot of sort of deep blues and whites this season. I'm definitely loving that color combination. I thought having this little hook in the corner was such a good idea with the wicker bag and the little hanging organizer. Definitely a great way to grab a little bit more storage space in an awkward spot. I always like to look in the cupboards to see what they're styling with, and these metal containers definitely got my attention. I knew I'd have to grab some of these. They've got a smaller size like this one, and then they do have some larger styles as well with some label options, and this pot definitely caught my attention. It reminded me a little bit of a crock. Here you can see an example of those containers we were just looking at. They have a little spot where you can create your own label and slip it in. Next, I did come across some furniture that caught my attention. I love the industrial feel with this paired with the dark wood top. I thought that this would be some great organizational pieces in a workshop maybe, or any room really. This was a fun little nook that they had put together here, and I really loved that light fixture as well. Definitely noticed a lot of more muted tones like a sage green. They were very popular, and blues. And here's one of those classic IKEA jugs in a lovely green. It actually had a bit of a chalky texture to the feel. And I loved this cupboard, how they'd paired the white against the darker blue background. And then you can also see in the back of the cupboard, they actually put some blue and white roses. I really liked the light pendants here. They were a great price and actually reminded me a little bit of enamel. This chair was super cute. I loved the blue and white stripes. Definitely some French country vibes here. I was definitely loving all of the wooden crates, but I think I would probably stain them a deeper tone. I really loved the beautiful pastel yellow of this little organizational cart. If I didn't already have quite a few of these, I would have grabbed one. I think it was just so lovely. And again, I'm noticing a lot of really lovely subdued colors for the season. And I loved these sage green little pots, but unfortunately when I did find them later, they came as a set and I just don't need that hanging attachment, but I love that color. I really loved the color of these plates and cups. I thought that was a beautiful subdued tone, and of course I loved this terracotta planter. I'm definitely going to grab one of those later. And I loved these little wire hangers. I think that they would be great for organization of anything really. Put pencils in those little pots instead. Next, these baskets are definitely on my list. I'm definitely going to grab a couple of them. I love the color. I love the chunky weave. I really like how they used that little pot that we saw earlier to organize their utensils. Again, it definitely looks like a vintage crock. In this particular space, I really liked these little wall art pieces, but sadly, it's just the frames that they're selling. You can't buy the roosters, you'd have to add those yourself. In this space, I loved this crate here because of its size, its shape, but it's also on wheels. Again, I would definitely be adding a bit of a darker stain. And they also had so many different baskets, so if you were looking for something to put your plants in, there was a lot of options. And here I'm loving all these clip-on and under bench or under cupboard storage ideas. I know a lot of us are a bit space poor, so IKEA definitely has a lot of ideas for making the most out of the space that you have. I really loved these wall shelves that they had. I loved the little beadboard back on them. I think that it's great that they are narrow, perfect for small spaces, and I loved that this one was a bit smaller and it had the towel rack. I definitely think that would be great in any room for extra storage. And of course, they had a great selection of trolleys, perfect for your craft room, a lot of different price points and colors to choose from. In this space, something that definitely caught my eye was this little wooden organizer. It reminds me a little bit of the sewing kit things that you see out there. Was a little bit pricier than I wanted to pay, but definitely, again, a great little storage idea for your craft or sewing supplies. Something that I noticed in a lot of the IKEA displays was a lot of colour. So I was loving the greens and the blues, and I was loving the trim work that they added to the walls. It really made things like this beautiful lamp stick out and really pop against those colours. So definitely, I wish I was brave enough to do that in my own home. And I loved this little side table, the wicker side table. I thought that that was lovely. I personally probably would paint it white, but then I do love white furniture. And then I loved this little side table. It definitely had a bit of a vintage feel to it, and I loved that sagey green. I really loved the beautiful blue on the walls in this particular space, but I loved the dusty pink in this space on the shiplap walls. This next space was so fun, painted a lovely bright pink, perfect in a sewing room, definitely reminded me of Barbie. Loved this wall of plants with that new FICA style that they have, but I think I might actually take that apart if I do decide to get one in the future. I loved this jug here. This is new for the season, and again, a lot of pastel colors in the mugs that I'm noticing. These were all lovely, but I have so many mugs, so I did refrain. And there you can see there's a lot of white crockery, so if you prefer something a bit more neutral. I did really love this one. I loved the shape of the handle. If you're looking for a lazy Susan, IKEA has one if you want to use it for your crafting, and of course IKEA has a lot of cushions to choose from. Again, just like the mugs, I already have so many cushions, so this time I did not get any. I loved these seat pads. They were very neutral, could really go with any style, and they were a great price point. And of course, they have a lot of beautiful throws, a lot of textured throws this time, lovely fuzzy textures to choose from, and some lovely knitted styles. IKEA also has a lot of beautiful bedding options, very farmhouse, very French country. I got some last time I visited, so I didn't need to grab any today, but I thought I'd show you a quick shot of all the options that they have. This little stand here definitely caught my eye. I could imagine it with plants on it. And of course, they have a lot of rugs to choose from as well. One particular rug did grab my attention. It had this lovely sort of vintage duck egg blue-green weaved through it. I thought that was such a lovely pop of colour. I was definitely then in basket heaven. They had them piled high, so many lovely designs. I love that white design. I hadn't seen that before. And of course I had to grab a couple of the one that we saw earlier. I did grab 3 of them. Make sure you check out my later videos. I'm going to be doing some DIY projects with those. And then I found those metal containers that I saw earlier. I didn't grab a larger design. I just went with the smaller size one. I think it'll look great with a transfer on it. IKEA also has some fun vintage style mirrors to choose from. They do, however, look a little bit plastic when you get up close, but it's a great option if you can't find the real deal. I did decide to grab this sweet little metal house. It was on sale, and this vase is such a gorgeous blue that had to go in my cart. And here is that wall of jugs that I alluded to earlier. So many colors to choose from now and in a variety of sizes. These are those cute little animals that were on the shelf that we saw briefly. They are new, definitely cute. And of course, there are a lot of vases to choose from. Loving the mustard color with that lovely green. They had these lovely blue picks on sale, so I did decide to grab some of those. They were only $2.50 each. I thought that they would be great. And of course, IKEA always has a lot of florals to choose from and so many pretty pinks this time. I also thought that this little pot was super cute, so that did find its way into my trolley. And I really loved this long oval basket. I definitely had to refrain myself. It was a little bit pricier than I wanted to spend, but I think it would look gorgeous as a table centerpiece. IKEA has so many pots to choose from. There was just a whole wall of them in all different shapes and sizes. Here I'm giving you a bit more of a close-up of the styles you can choose from. I did grab a couple of different ones. Definitely loving the more sort of urn-shaped ones and those lovely blue tones. As I got to the checkouts, I finally spotted that lovely wreath that I wanted to grab from earlier, so that definitely went in my cart. As we got to the car, I definitely had to show you guys how my trolley was looking. Everything looked really cute together. I loved the colors and the different textures, and I did actually buy some other things that I did a click and collect order on. Okay guys, so this is what I ended up getting. I got quite a few things. This garland here was actually something that I saw on the website, but I didn't think that they would have them in stock if I waited, so I did place a click and collect order for that one. I got quite a few. I only paid about $7 for that. I've got these beautiful baskets. Definitely going to be doing some DIY projects with those. Obsessed with this boxwood wreath. So many possibilities there. These were only $2.50 each. I figure they look lovely in this vase that I bought, or I can cut them apart for some other crafts. I just loved this beautiful blue pot. I loved the shape, I loved the color. I grabbed another one of these white little crock type pots from IKEA. I loved it last time with the IOD transfer on it, so I thought I would give that another go. Absolutely loved this little pot here. I love the scallop edge. I love the little raised detail there, and I've got just a classic terracotta pot there that I'm going to work on. This house was another find. Now it is blue. You would have seen it in the footage before. I do have to put it together though. And then I have this metal box here that I bought. Some of them did have like some labels and things that you could have gotten. They were larger. I don't really have room for those. So this little one is going to be a fun craft project. I really hope that you enjoyed shopping at IKEA with me and that it's given you some storage ideas or decorating ideas. Make sure that you keep your eye out for my next few videos. I'm going to be doing some projects with our IKEA finds, showing you different ways that you can customize these items for your home. And definitely let me know if you had a favorite item from today that you saw, or maybe if there was something that I should have grabbed that you think should have gone in my trolley. If you enjoyed today's video, I would love it if you would hit that like button, comment, and share it out. And if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.